Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Storytime with Dorcas Love. Yeah, today's topic is going to be kind of emotional. So anyway, let's get going. Okay guys, welcome back. Hope you guys are fine. Hope you guys are doing well, and I want to appreciate my subscribers, everybody that has subscribed to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate you. I repeat, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for the love. And for those that maybe have forgotten or are new here, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm going to give you time to do that, and make sure you hit the notification bell so that in case I upload a video, you guys are notified. Let's go. Yeah, so today's video is going to be about mental health. Yeah, mental health. So I noticed many of you don't really mind your mental health because you ignore yourself, you ignore your feelings for others. Many of you do that. You either ignore your feelings for others, or you just ignore your feelings because you don't want to think about anything that concerns your feelings that hurt, maybe your feelings that torture you, and that's not good. Very many of us have faced mental health problems, mental torture. We've been tortured mentally, and we choose not to talk about these things. We've been depressed. Our insecurities have led to depression. There's breakups. Many of you like break up and then you get a mental breakdown. There's betrayal, like you have a friend and then you tell your friend maybe a secret and you expect them not to tell anyone, and they end up telling other people about this secret. They end up telling people about your secret, and that tortured you because maybe it was too personal and you didn't expect it to go out. But since you needed to talk to someone, you talked to a wrong friend, and this friend kind of messed up things. There's poverty. You're facing poverty. You don't have money, and you feel you're not going to face tomorrow. You keep wondering how you're going to face tomorrow. You have poverty. You're poor. You don't have money, and you have maybe debts. Maybe I'm not talking about small debts. Let's say maybe someone lent you 2k or 10k. I'm talking about big loans, like borrowing money maybe from a bank or from a friend, and then it is in big sums, and maybe you borrowed it to put it into maybe a business, but then the business didn't come out, so you have to pay that person and you don't have the money to do that. So all those things, we face all these things. We face all these things every day. Discrimination. You feel like you're discriminated. You feel like you're not enough for the people. You feel like you're not enough for your own self. All that. Very many of us choose to ignore it. I don't know why. But I feel like we should talk about these things. We should get to be better. So when someone asks you, how are you? So you don't just say, I'm fine, but you really mean that you're fine in like everywhere, in mind, everywhere, mentally, physically, name it. So yeah, today's topic is going to be about mental health, and it's gonna be minding your mental health. So let's get on with it. So of course I have a story. Yeah, so this topic is kind of emotional. It's emotional. I know it's emotional. I don't know, but I just feel it's emotional. So, as I said, all of us have experienced, I won't talk for everybody, but most of us have experienced mental breakdowns. Some of us are afraid. Some of us are not brave. Some of us are not courageous. Some of us are not strong. And you feel like if you talk to someone, you're going to be judged. If you talk to someone, it's going to go out and everybody's going to know. You know, when you keep something to yourself, you feel like I'm the only one that knows about this thing, and the person maybe that did it to me, us both are the only people who know about it. So I don't feel like it's out there. But the moment you tell a friend, you just start seeing it everywhere. You just feel like, does this one also know? Does this one also know? Does this one also know? That's how we feel. But I think we are wrong, because there are some people who actually keep our secrets, and there are some people who will really talk to us. But before you spill out your secrets, you also have to get to know the person you're going to tell them to. I personally prefer telling my secrets to a stranger, like a counselor, someone who doesn't know me, because I feel whether they are to tell, those guys don't know me, you get. So there's no way it's going to go out so much like telling a friend. I used not to be open to, I have a best friend, but I used not to be open to her. I'm just starting to be open to her, but still it's kind of hard, because what I've learned personally, I feel like you should get someone, because every time you're going to be rushing to counselors, every time you should get this your personal person, and you feel like you can talk to them about anything. Anyway, today's story is about a girl. She was okay. I'm going to start from the real beginning. This girl was in secondary, senior when she started from her school, primary, and she went to secondary. Physical appearance, I'm going to describe her the way she was. She was fat, weighing about 105 kgs. She was really fat, and her fatness wasn't out of any complications. She wasn't facing any complications. She was eating, it was bad feeding. She was feeding badly. And she, at that moment, she didn't really mind whether it was affecting her or not. She would just eat before she had joined. It was in her primary 7 back. So she used to eat a lot, and then she gained weight. I think her body was, these bodies, when you eat, you gain weight, because there are some people who eat a lot but don't gain weight. And then there are these people who eat a lot and gain massive weight. So she was that kind. So she gained weight, she's fat, and school starts. So exams, like results came back, they got her place at a nice school, and she went to school. So when she reaches there, she doesn't really fit in her age-mate. You know, senior and kids, you're young, some girls don't even have those things on their chest, some haven't experienced a lot of things, puberty hasn't hit for some. And there she was fat. Everybody looked at her. You know, senior one, when you're in senior one, some kids will laugh, some kids will make fun of you, because they are not yet mature. Otherwise, if you can't find a senior 3 person, a mature person, if I may say, laughing at a fat person, that's on a rare basis. It's really rare. No, at least they will even laugh behind your back, but maybe not in front of you. So these kids are innocent, they're not yet mature, and they're laughing and making fun of her. I'll call her Trisha. I'm going to leave her Trisha. So Trisha feels bad, because people are small, people are, slender, nothing on their chest, and when you're fat, sometimes everything was big. Because she was this kind of person whose genes were healthy, I should say. So she would grow fat like easily. Yeah? So her genes were these healthy genes that would grow, she'd get fat and stuff. So she was really feeling bad about that. So that impression of people towards her made her go in her box, she didn't want to open up. Senior one, when you reach there, you want to make new friends, you're willing to make new friends, you're willing to give it your best, you're willing, you're motivated, you want to do it, you want to pass, you want to be like you want to experience, you want to have a good experience, in short. So her first impression when she reached school wasn't good. People didn't show they liked her, and that made her feel bad. So it made her like go back into her box even when she was trying to get out. Because she would go in class, she used to sit behind. She used to sit behind because when you sit behind, people rarely notice you. People will rarely notice you. You stay in class the whole day, no one will notice you. You will not go for short call, you will not go for anything. You just stay there. So it was this girl, she was locked in. She didn't get to open up because her friends, like, she didn't even have friends. Because the first time she reached at school, she noticed kids' physical appearance, and that alone put her down because she had not yet learned to accept herself the way she was. So she goes in like where they were sleeping, and then everybody's like, no, someone is on this bed, no, it's booked. Because people didn't want to sit to like sleep near her. People felt like is she even a senior to chica? She's going to bully us, she's older than us, and that wasn't the case. So she was forced to get like a bad bed, and she came early. That put her down. So she lost that, how can I call it? Like, she couldn't stand out. She lost her courage. I don't know what to put up. So she lost that thing, I've forgotten the word. So she couldn't like get out. So one time they got in class and she's sitting behind. So she's not concentrating because the teacher was teaching and she was maybe putting her head down. So the teacher picks her, like, Trisha, give us the answer. She looks, people are all looking at her. She says, I don't know the answer. Instead of listening, teachers, instead of listening, you're just there. Sit down. She sits down. People start laughing at her. She again loses, like, she becomes so down. She goes down, like she stopped talking in class. She would come in early and just sit. Sometimes she would not even attend some lectures. She would not attend some classes because now at that time. So like she's shut down and she couldn't get out of a small box. She didn't have friends. There are those people that discriminate. Okay, I don't know if we all do it. Maybe we find ourselves doing it even when we don't want to. But she had no friends and she was quiet in class. And that was senior 1. So senior 2, time has passed. You're now growing. So like she's improving. She was like improving, coming out of her box slowly. She was coming out of her box. And she made a few friends. Like 1 or 2, but she wasn't so open with them. And so she gets a friend that I think she considered that as a personal friend, like as I've told you. She considered that person like maybe this might be my best friend. Like you get that feeling, you're like, this girl is just being there for me. I think she's going to be my close friend. So she tells the friend about her home situation, how they were financially low. And she told the friend how she was struggling, like to lose weight, how she felt like her weight was shaming. And she told her friend she had a problem. She didn't know. But she used to pee on bed. So like even like in senior 2, she was still peeing on bed. So she told her friend, I pee on bed, that's why I wake up early and I have to shower, wash my bed sheets, and then go to class before any of you notices it. So the friend is like, everything is okay. Friends at that time, everything will be fine, everything is going to be fine, blah blah blah, this and that. So they continue being friends, and she kept telling her about more of her. So now, like, she was trying to disclose what was in her to people. And one of the problems she had as a person, she didn't want to disappoint people. She wasn't a person who liked disappointing people. She would kind of try to please people, and she didn't want people to dislike her. Guys, let me tell you something small. Never fear to disappoint someone. Because the more you get that fear not to disappoint someone, that's when those guys are going to disappoint you. It's better to tell the truth than live in a lie just because you don't want to disappoint someone. Stop trying to please people. Don't please people. The more you try to please someone, the more those people are going to hurt you. The more you're going to get more mental breakdown. So anyway, this chick, Trisha, she was a people person. Like, she wanted to please people. She wanted to please people. Yes, she was a girl with few words. And given like to her physical appearance, she felt she wasn't enough for people. She felt she didn't want to have very many friends, and that would maybe lead into unnecessary drama. So she avoided people. And those two friends of hers were her friends because they were sleeping on the same decker. You know, the decker had three levels, like the lower bed, the middle bed, and the upper bed. So those were her friends because they were decker mates, I can't say. So one day, the girl she had told her secrets, used to sleep in the middle. Then the other girl used to sleep up. So the other girl is like, hey Trisha, come and sit up, come and sleep up with me, and we just things like that. So Trisha goes up, by mistake steps on this girl's bed, the middle bed. She steps on it. And then, okay, she didn't notice she had dirt in the bed sheet. So she goes up and then she starts, jazzing. And then the girl comes back from class. She's like, who stepped on my bed? And then she starts like accusing the person who slept. She's like, no, I didn't even get up from this side. I was sleeping on the other girl's bed and I just jumped over to my bed. I didn't go up from this side. Trust me. So Trisha is like, maybe it's me. What's wrong with you? I keep tolerating you just stepping on your bed and dirtying your, I think it was a white bed sheet, because she really got pissed. What's wrong with you? I try to tolerate you and then you're acting like this. No wonder. She started talking everything the girl had told her. She started talking everything. Well, can you even afford such a bed sheet that you're stepping on and dirtying like this? She removed the bed sheet, she went to wash it. Trisha was left like in trauma. Like she couldn't believe like a person she took as a friend could do that over a small mistake. And let me tell you something, guys. If someone trusts you with their secret, if someone comes out and tells you something and then tells you not to tell anybody, please just don't do it. Just, even though your mouth is going to start running, just don't do it. Especially in quarrels. Don't let your anger take over you. You're not dealing with metal. You're not talking to metal. You're dealing with a person's feelings. I came out. I told you what was hurting me, and you comforted me, and I'm feeling safe with you. I'm feeling safe telling you my secrets. And then you, just a small quarrel, just stepping on your bed, you come out, you read my bio. I can't say reading my bio. You read my whole storybook in front of people. And then people themselves, people want spoiled things. Especially girls. People want spoiled things. Girls like spoiled things. So they're telling her, you can't even afford such bed sheets. And then you're bringing your dirty legs and putting them on my bed sheets. Which chick spoke a lot. So she didn't answer. She was fat and so she comes down, she starts crying. And everybody was avoiding her because they had found out about her situation, how they were poor, how she was messy, how she was urinating on bed, because that chick was like, I had to tolerate a lot of things. You pee on bed, your pee smells, and I keep it and I kept quiet. You do a lot of disgusting things, and I bear with you. And now you're stepping on my bed sheets, and you want me to bear with you? I'm going to tell Metron I want to change a decker. I don't want to sleep with you. All those disgusting things. Yes, I know I pee on bed. Very many people used to pee on bed even some people even still pee on bed right now. You didn't ask me if it was a medical issue. You didn't ask me anything. You're just coming out, telling me how I pee on bed, telling people how they pee on bed. You're not considering my feelings. You're not considering how I'm going to feel. You're just considering the fact that I stepped on your bedsheet by mistake. And now you're saying all that to make me feel bad. Stop making people's bad situations. Stop using people's situations over them or against them. Stop telling people, I did if I come and tell you something and it is really hurting me, maybe I tell you we are poor or something like that, then the next day I annoy you. Don't use it against me. Don't use it against a person. If someone tells you a secret and that person annoys you, walk away. But don't start coming in. That's why you're this, that's why you're... That is not good. That is not good. And for people who do it, please stop. It's not good. It's not good, and it can mentally torture someone. Some people's brains are just triggered by small things. Some people really don't care. Some people don't even care. They'll be like, that one cannot get hurt. You don't know what hurts, man. You don't know what doesn't hurt me. Some people, you may talk something and then another person will be like, she's joking. And then you may talk the same thing to the other person and then that person takes it in a serious way. Stop playing with people's feelings. It's really not good. So this girl tells people, yes, she pees on bed. I'm on to Metron. I want to change beds. I don't want to sleep near this girl. She's, smelling and stuff. So this girl feels bad, and they go back home like for what? Holidays. And the girl tells the parents, I can't go back to that school. People are going to laugh at me. She was in senior 2 at that time. I can't go back to that school. I can't. So the parents are like, we don't have money. Because the parents didn't have money. That was the truth. And the dad was suffering from, and the dad was suffering from TB at that time. The dad had TB at that time. So tuberculosis, yeah. The dad was suffering from tuberculosis, and the mom was the only one bringing in money, because the dad was home all the time. He was like on bed all the time, and he couldn't do anything for himself. So it was the woman providing for the family. The good thing, the woman had a nice job, so she was the one providing for everybody. So when they picked this girl up, she's like, Mommy, I don't want to come back here. So the mom is like, why don't you want to come back? She explains for the mom. And the mom is like, we don't have money. You want to change schools just because of that reason? Did you go to my friends? When you feel like everything is on you, you sometimes you don't get to understand people. Now, like for example, the mom, she was having only one job, and every time the money came in, she had to buy medicine, she had to pay school fees for her and the sister. There were 2 kids. So everything, the woman felt like everything was on her. So it was hard on her. I don't really blame her, because maybe she wasn't talking to someone, and maybe she was also under mental breakdown. Your husband is sick, you have to pay for a kid, the kid is not comfortable in the school, she wants to change. It's like, why don't you do something about it? If they are doing something bad to you, avoid them. I don't have money to keep changing schools and stuff like that. Already I'm putting in this school and I can't afford it so well. Now you're coming to me complaining. So the mom didn't even understand the girl, but just accused her more. So she kept quiet. And the next time the mom pays again at the school, so she had to go back. So she goes back. Now people know she pays on bed, because the rumor had circulated and all that. So people didn't want to sleep near her. Now they were going to senior 3. People didn't want to sit near her in class. People didn't want to sit near her. She felt so bad. Her grades started going down and down and down and down. Her grades are going down. She's performing poorly. So at that school, if you had performed poorly, they would call your parents. Like on video, you come for the report, they tell you your report is not here, it's with the HM or the DOS or all level, things like that. So they sent her to the DOS level. And the DOS level taught like this Trisha is always quiet in class, she doesn't give answers, she has low esteem, she doesn't participate in anything, she does nothing. The only thing she does is come sit. So the mom is like, what's wrong? Why are you not reading your books? Don't you know that I'm getting money from far? So all the things were making the mom annoyed. They were adding anger to her. But the mom didn't even really look into the situation of what was happening to her daughter. And I'm not blaming her because she was also under her own stress. And she didn't really want too much stress from any of her kids at that moment. So she keeps questioning, they're like, you have to improve your grades or else you're going to chop you, schools. We're going to chop you at the end of the term, so you have to add effort, things like that. So she goes, she goes trying her best, and she was trying to start inquiring from people, trying to open up. Now you feel like there's a moment you reach and you feel you're in that box alone. You feel you're in that box alone and no one is going to help you. So she starts helping out. She's trying to help out herself by coming out and trying to read, consult, things like that. So a trip comes in. It was a geography trip. So they're going for a trip. They're reading names. When they read your name, kids would stand a little bit far from the bus, so that when they read your name, you can walk to the bus. They read your name, the ticket, you walk to the bus. So they read her name. And of trips, you had to go in full school uniform because you're presenting at school, things like that. So they read her name. Trisha, she comes. Where's your necktie? She didn't have a necktie. Where's your necktie? Teacher, can you go and get your necktie? Teachers, can you go and get your necktie? You're so disorganized. I don't know why you keep doing all these things like that. And the kids start laughing. And she goes, so as she was going, I don't know if it was intended or it was a mistake, but then someone put her leg. I don't know if it was a mistake or intended. And she trips over it. Lucky enough, she didn't fall. So kids start laughing more and more. So she goes, and nobody noticed if she came back or she didn't come back. But she didn't come back. She didn't go for that trip because she felt like everybody was already in the bus. Because the moment she reached, after getting a necktie from maybe a friend or from Dom, I don't know, when she came back, she found less kids that were remaining to be read. And then she felt like if she had entered the bus, people are going to look at her. She's not going to have where to sit. So she went back and she didn't go for that trip. So her friends come back. They're like, why did you come for that trip but you had paid? She keeps quiet. She has no friends. She's going under a mental breakdown and she has no one to talk to. And at that age, as I told you, she didn't feel like it was a mental. Some people don't even know the situation they are in. So she didn't know if it was a mental health issue or something like that. She just felt like she didn't like herself. And the moment you start feeling like you don't like yourself, you can do a lot of things to yourself. You can harm yourself because you feel you don't have that self-love within you. You feel you're not enough for yourself and you're not enough for others. And by I never feel like you're not enough for yourself. Or you're not enough for others. If others feel you're not enough, let them go find people who are enough for them. But always put yourself first. Stop underrating yourself. Tell yourself I'm beautiful. Even though people don't agree with you, those are people. I like this kind of people with this energy. People be like, me, I know myself. There's nothing you can tell me. I'm beautiful. Yes, I'm fat, so what? Yes, I'm black, so what? Yes, I'm tall, so what? Yes, I'm short, so what? Yes, this is how I am and I love myself. The more you love yourself, the more people love you. But the more you hate yourself, the more you put yourself down, people are not going to see you anywhere. People are going to keep putting you under the position where you put yourself. If you put yourself first, if you consider yourself beautiful, people are going to start seeing the beauty in you. But if you start putting yourself down, I'm ugly, I'm this, I have this, people don't like this. Some people will like you and other people will not like you. You're not made for everyone to like you. No one will like, not everyone will like you. And for the lucky ones, a few people will like you. It's better to be liked than a few than be liked than a whole group of fake people, you know. So this girl didn't go for that trip anyway. So people ask her, why didn't you go for that trip? She keeps quiet, you know. People, you're from out, you bought things, they're eating, and she's there, she's doing nothing. So her grades kept going low. They weren't improving. Because I don't know, every time she tried to open up, I think people would put her down because she was overweight. She would sit like on their bench. The people normally sat 3 per bench, but then they would sit 2 on her bench, and it was a boy. You know, boys rarely isolate or discriminate. Boys rarely discriminate, by the way. I don't know. Most boys rarely discriminate. To find a boy discriminating, I don't know, it's maybe on a rare basis. Maybe that one's still having that young thing in him. But many boys mature faster than girls, so they rarely discriminate. So she was sitting with a boy, and that they used to talk, but still less words, because no girl wanted to sit near her. So she would sit and she would come out, go to dorm. So her grades went low and they chopped her in senior 3. Third term, they chopped her. Then the mom had to plead. They refused. So the mom had to look for another school. So when they look for another school, she's now like, when you're going to change school, you feel you're saved from the past people, but then what you don't know is that you're going to find a whole group of new people that you don't know, and you feel like maybe the past teacher would have been better than the present. So she goes in a new school, and when she reaches the new school, it was kind of cheaper than the first school, so people there are, you know, but they would not look at the fact that maybe she was a little bit better than them financially or something like that. The only thing they looked at was her fatness. Be like, this chick is too fat. Oh, you know this newcomer, that chick fat thing. And she would hear these things, and people wouldn't feel bad. You know, there are some people who never feel bad about talking. There are some people who never feel bad talking about something. You know, like someone will come straight to you, and that person will be like, Odi chibi. And then they would laugh, and they will go away, and they won't feel bad, no. And then they will come and they'll be like, Jechi no, or Gwe chitwe, and they will talk a lot of vulgar words, and they'll feel fine. I don't know, but those people are there. I think they were meant to be there. I don't know, but they are there. And then there are these people who respect people's feelings. So luckily, she got a friend. Another friend, but this time she was cautious, because she would be like, what if I tell her the same things about me, and then she goes telling people, and then I get ashamed, things like that. But then, you know, there's a difference between a person who is going to be there for you and a person who is showing their up and down, and you may not trust them with, you know, your secrets. So I think this girl was kind of different. So she talks to her. She's like, she got to know her about her family, things like that, and they were having nearly the same story. And that's the best thing, to find someone with the same story. That's, to me, I feel like I found my twin. If a person is facing the same problem I'm facing, I feel we are going to help each other. But if a person, if you tell someone who has not experienced something, or who hasn't heard of someone experiencing something that you're experiencing, they can't connect. The connection is less, or even not there. You know, if someone comes and tells you, no, it's like you're pregnant and you're young, then you can tell someone who has never got pregnant, and you ask them for advice, and they're going to give you the right advice. They're going to just give you something that they are thinking. But if you go to a person who has been pregnant before in high school, these people might even give you their best, because it's like you're talking to a sister. It's like you're talking to someone who has experienced, I don't know how to explain this, but if you talk to someone who has experienced something, that's the best feeling ever. So Trisha and the new girl she had met, her new friend, I'm going to call her Jen. So Trisha and Jen had that connection. They were having stories that were relating to each other, because this said it was Jen's mom that was sick, and they were average, like financially average, like the way Trisha's parents were. So they were relating, and like they were relating in, I can say, in any possible way, because their stories would relate. So they got to know each other. They got to start like telling each other things and stuff. So in this school, yeah, so she's so Trisha sits her O level. She finishes her O level. She performed quite better, and then she goes in for A level. She went back to the same school because money issues, and herself, she was kind of comfortable with the fact that Jane was also going back for HSC. So they go back, they study, and they get past over that. Of course, the teasing was there because she was still fat and she didn't want to get rid of the weight. So but now she was getting better, because these guys were kind of used to her. And as I've told you, by senior 5, senior 6, your brain is mature. You can't just start laughing at a fat person when she's in front of you, or making fun of her in any possible way. It's not like Oliver where your mind is young and you feel like it's okay to laugh at a fat person. So no, it wasn't like that case. So she was able to go through it. But then after HSC, she was going to face the outside world. And trust me, the outside world is the hardest. It's the hardest thing. It's so hard. It's so hard it's so hard to be outside, because I feel school is too like enclosed, and 2 or 3 people are going to laugh at you, and then others maybe will feel sorry for you. But then the outside world, my god, the outside world is kind of hard, because you're going to be dealing with you're going to be seeing 1,000 people. I was going to break down. Okay, you're going to be seeing 1,000 people outside there. You're going to be seeing a lot of people, and these people are going to really put pressure on you. They're going to put a lot of pressure on you. Some people end up committing suicide. Some people end up, making wrong decisions because of the pressure outside. People, the outside pressure is real. Never alone school. School is just students, and but the outside world is filled with a lot of people that are going to put pressure on you and end up making you doing wrong decisions, doing wrong things. So Trisha goes to the outside world. She was given a spot at MOBS. She had gotten a spot at MOBS, Makerere Business School, Makerere University Business School. So that's where she had gotten a spot. So she gets out, a hostel, and she starts like her semester. So in the first year of her semester, the dad died. The dad dies. So she has to go back home for, okay, that she says that the dad dying didn't really put her down so much, because the dad reached a point, the dad was too sick. The dad was suffering from TB, as I said. So the dad was too sick, and they had reached a point, and they felt like the hope was going down. I don't know. It's not like me. I wake up it's not like a person waking up in the morning and then they tell you, you know what, your mom is dead. and your mom wasn't sick, your mom wasn't, maybe she had an accident, that triggers you in a different way. But then there's the situation when your dad is really sick, you've already you've already gone, you've already had a mental breakdown on that road of your dad getting sick, and maybe you've had less hopes of him getting better. So when they die, of course you get hurt, because they've left, but then it's going to be like an abrupt thing that's happening. That's how she explains it. So that dying didn't really put her down so much. Yes, it put her down for some time, but then she got up her feet again. So she starts studying, and then she gets friends, campus life, she gets friends. And these friends, she got a friend, and she thought maybe this was a good friend. I don't know what had happened to Jen. She felt maybe these were good friends, so she gets friends, and they start tormenting her, like, you're fat, but you can do something about it. You can do something about it. So she starts asking, what can I do about it? I've tried exercises and they flunked. I've tried a lot of things like eating less and they didn't work out. So she gets a friend, and the friend is like, no, you can try out pills. So the friend is like, you can try out pills. And she's like, you sure? Yes, you can do this, pills work, things like that. So she's like, okay, how much are the pills? She gets money for the pills. She buys the pills. She takes the pills like for about a month. Pills refuse. Pills don't work for everyone. Pills work for some people. Pills don't work for everybody. So the pills refuse. So you're now feeling like your friends are forcing you to do something, because when the pills didn't work, this friend was like, no, you can't buy other pills, you have to chop weight. Things like putting pressure on her. You get, they will not advise her to be. If you have a friend and that friend is not advising you to be you, leave that friend. Trust me. A friend is advising you to bleach. A friend is advising you to go in and take pills and lose. If you've not decided for yourself, if you've not decided something for yourself and you feel you don't want something, but then someone is forcing you to do it, leave them. Leave them. If someone is forcing you, maybe you don't wear skimpy things, and then someone's like, but you don't look nice in long things, and you feel you don't want to put on short things, and the person is putting pressure, leave that person. You feel you don't want to pierce your nose, maybe it's not in things you've ever wished for, and then someone's telling you, pierce your nose, leave that person. Do things from your heart that are coming from your heart, that are approved by you. Don't do things unless it's a good thing. If someone is telling you read your books, and you don't want to read your books, then you really have a problem, because that person is leading you in a right way. But then there's a person who is leading you in a dungeon, and you're seeing it, but then you're ignoring it. Very many of you ignore it. People be like, me, I'm going to make my hair pink. And you've never in your life even dreamed of making your hair pink. You also make yours pink. Me also make yours pink. You make your hair pink. Tomorrow, don't put on that long skirt. It doesn't look nice on you. Me, I want to put on a short one. You also put on a short one, short skirt. And yet you've never even thought about wearing short things. That's how you start going down. Stop doing things for people. So this girl, she buys the second set of pills. Again, the pills don't work. So she starts getting that pressure. She's like, but do these people really want me the way I am? They want me to lose weight. They say telling me, if you don't lose weight, you're going to be wearing those weird things and you will not make friends. And I will not make friends. So you mean you guys are not my friends because of my physical appearance? If you get a friend and that person is not like, let's say you guys are walking somewhere and that person is not comfortable walking with you, you just go away from that person. A friend that doesn't accept you the way you are is not a true friend. Get a person who is going to feel, who you're going to feel free with. You're going to be like, hey, if you can't be open to a friend, then that is not your friend. If you keep lying to your friends about things, Yeah, those are not your friends. A friend is a person who you will tell the truth. A friend is a person that will accept you the way you are. So this girl starts thinking to herself, do these people even really want me? Do Why do they want me to lose weight? And yet I'm comfortable with it, because she was not trying to accept herself, but then her friends were trying to show her she wasn't enough for herself. Not after me struggling my whole senior life, I've been struggling to accept myself, and now I'm here, I'm trying to accept myself, and you're putting me down. You're telling me my weight is not good. The weight was there, yes, but it wasn't too much weight that was unhealthy, or that she wasn't walking well or breathing well. She had also tried in her own energy to lose the weight, but things had refused. A friend who doesn't tell you to seek healthy ways of doing something and always gives you shortcuts, that's not a friend. So her friends would call her to go out, and then when they went out, she would be the one holding their bags. If she went to a club, they would be drinking, and she would be the one holding everything. And when they got drunk, she had to take care of them until they reached home. She was like the duff, like you're a group of maybe 4 or 5 friends, and then there's this one person. She don't vibe. She's always there to help people, but then no one is there for her because no one vibed her. But she would go out with those guys, and then she would take their pics when she's not even in the pics. She would take their pics. She had reached at that point of being used, and those guys were using her and tormenting her. And she reached a point she was not feeling anything. When people use you, or use you for something, and you realize or you find out people are using you for that something, you lose feelings. Like, she became numb. That's also a stage of mental breakdown. You become numbness. Like, you lose feelings. You fake everything. You fake to be happy. Yes, come on, you go out. Okay, you reach there, you smile, fake smiling, but inside your heart, you're not feeling loved. And the worst thing in life is not to feel loved. People can hate you and everything, but at heart, not feeling loved by anyone, that's torture. It's mental torture. It's so bad to feel unloved. It's so bad to feel unloved. And if you've ever been there and you felt unloved, just know I love you, because it's really torturing to feel unloved. Anyway, she had reached a stage of numbness, and she was ignoring all this. As I've told you guys, we pass through situations that we don't even know. Like, you might be going through a situation, you don't know the name, you don't know anything, you just feel maybe it happens to you normally, but you don't know that you can even go over it and recover from it, So she was going through numbness, and that was another stage of mental breakdown. Numbness, she felt nothing. She felt like she was faking everything. She wasn't feeling loved. And she reached her hostel. She would think about everything. Yes, she went out with her friends. Maybe they took 1 or 2 pics of her. She took 1,000 of theirs. And sometimes they'll not even post her. They'll crop her out. Like, seriously. So she would cry. She said crying alone, and she was in a single, so she would cry. She had no one to talk to. She was alone. Her friends, every time her friends came over, they would just tell her, why don't you lose weight? Why don't you? They would just make her feel like she was not good enough. And at that point, she felt so useless in life. She felt like ending her life. As I've told you, when you reach numbness, you don't feel any feelings. You don't have feelings for yourself. You're feeling unloved. You can end up doing something bad to yourself. Okay, time is up, but next weekend, I'm going to be uploading part 2 on minding your mental health. Yeah, so hope you guys have enjoyed. Hope you guys have learned something. Mind your mental health. Like, sit down, and be like, am I really fine? Look into yourself. If you have something that you're hiding and you keep ignoring, don't ignore anything. If a situation has happened to you, some people have been raped, some people, and they choose not to talk about that. Some people have been used. You're used all the time. Maybe one time you went to a club and you were used and you kept it to yourself. Talk to someone. Talk to someone. Your mental health is key. Like, if your brain is not straight, you can't do things. If your mind is not straight, you can't function properly like a normal person, you know. So mind your mental health. Anyways, it was fun talking to you guys. I hope you really learned something. I hope you guys picked a leaf. Yeah, next weekend, God willing, I'll be posting part 2 of minding your mental health. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so that when I upload a video, you guys are notified. Yeah, nice weekend. Peace out.